What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Broodwar ladder battle. We've got Queen spawning here in the top left and Leta down in the bottom right. So you know why we're here, why we've chosen this series. It's two games that were played just last week on the ladder. It's because I want to watch some Wraith play, and Leta's the guy to give it to us. I want to see a 1-1-1 or a 2-port Wraith into some air Terran gameplay. He's not totally consistent with being able to take down the greatest players in the world, but Leta is unbelievable when it comes to Wraiths, and he is so consistent at doing this style. It's very fun to watch, and I hope you guys agree. Just an interesting way to play, just a different style altogether from what we usually see on the ladder. Now, I would be pretty disappointed if he didn't go for this style, but it's totally possible that he mixes it up. He might go for a very quick CC into a very fast Valkyrie. That's a possibility. Maybe he skips Wraiths altogether. I don't know. Got the 12 hatch out of Queen. Again, I would be very disappointed if he didn't go for a bunch of Wraiths in this game. We've seen some very strange things out of Leta in the past. Some pretty cool builds. For example, going into like mass Wraith into Marine attack with the combined 11 Wraiths and a whole bunch of Marines to try and break a Zerg player early before they really have anything else out besides just Lings and Mutas. Pretty interesting stuff, but it's generally countered pretty hard by just a bunch of sunken colonies and 1 or 2 spores. Even just 1 spore and some Mutas it is damn good against Wraith play. Let's see what Leta does here. You can see the gas gets started. He throws down an engineering rate. Oh gosh, is he just gonna go for straight on +1 play? Wow, that's not what I was expecting. Maybe we'll get a Wraith game in game number 2. I thought it would be pretty interesting to see him go Wraiths on this map. Deja vu. But it seems like he just wants to open pure +1 Marine. Is he gonna come out and surprise me with some really good Marine play? I doubt that he's gonna be as strong with the Marine play as we saw Light in the series yesterday. It's a good snipe there, getting 1 Ling anyway. But yeah, there's a reason why Leta usually goes Wraiths. He's just not very good at bio play. He's probably going to be struggling against Queen here. Queen, he's been known to make some pretty big mistakes though, especially lately. He hasn't been showing that 2-time ASL champion level of play for quite some time. We'll see if he's at that high level today. If he's taking things seriously or if he's just kind of messing around. So far, he's just poking at the front, looking out for that initial Marine medic attack that will come out at about 5 minutes. Not gonna come from Leta here. Instead, he is focusing on getting his +1 upgrade out as quickly as possible and pumping out as many barracks as he can. Hasn't started his range just yet. Looks like he can't afford it. There we go. Range will start. It's gonna be a little bit late though. There is an opportunity. Maybe we could see Queen get in there and deal some real damage. Starts to move out with these Marines. Just a few Marines at the front right now. Should be pretty clear what's going on for Queen at this time. He knows exactly what Leta's up to. He must have a bunch of barracks behind this and quick +1 on the way. Gonna go ahead and take care of that SCV. That SCV was pretty sweet actually. Got in there, saw everything, He didn't need these comsats. He could have gone for just one comsat, but instead opts to get both. He gets two comsats there. He really does need to start another turret over by these barracks, though. The lack of a turret is a little bit scary. You really want to cover your barracks. Sorry guys, I'm still having a bit of a cough. Oh my gosh. That's rough. Just coming off of this cold. Hopefully that was muted. You have a mute button now. Some pretty significant damage going on in this main base. Killed about 5 workers, but the Marine counterattack is moving very quickly across the map. Has to respond to this. He has to pull back. Cannot just allow these Marines to make it up to the front. There are 2 sunken colonies, so it's not the worst thing in the world, but it is a little bit scary if you get broken right at that moment. And so he brings everything together, looking for some snipes on a few of these Marines. This little contingent of Marines is keeping him at bay, but as soon as these extra sunken colonies get set up, it frees up Queen's Mutalisk force to just go in and start harassing really heavily. So these 10 mutas are going to make their way into this natural. Good response by Leta, immediately bringing the Marines up to assist the turrets. You can't be losing these turrets in the natural right now, and these Marines actually need to head home. He's not going to be able to break through the natural. There's really no way to make that happen. Hive has started. This is a purely defensive game now for Leta. He just needs to sit back, hold on, maybe even build some bunkers at the front, because pretty soon there's going to be a defiler coming across the map, and if he's not ready for that defiler, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. He's already got the 1 starport finished, and he appears to be going for a Valkyrie, which is not the right decision. You need a vessel. A vessel is super necessary, so he does go ahead and throw down the science facility. I heard some scans going off. I think he might have seen the main base. If he saw the hive, he knows exactly what he needs to do. You have got to get that vessel out as soon as possible. 1 Valkyrie is about to pop out. The Marines are in position to prevent more damage from going down. He's got 35 workers, so he's going to be feeling pretty good in terms of his economy. That's a lot of lings. That's why I was mentioning getting some bunkers at the front might be a good idea, because actually, I don't even see. Oh my goodness, what is this? Straight into Hive on just 2 bases. He's throwing up a base in the bottom left now, but it's Crazy Zerg on 2 gas, which is a little bit mind-blowing. He's getting both upgrades as well, which is a bit of a shock. Plus adrenal glands. How can he afford all of this? The real answer is that he can't. And the mutas are going to fly in. Actually, taking over the barracks is kind of important. However, 2 the Valkyries are ready to dive on top of that group. Oh, he should be able to get some good shots off here. Yeah, okay. At least 1. There's a second volley of missiles going to kill off at least 1 Mutalisk. There's some Scourge coming. But as soon as he finds out about this base in the bottom left, I think Queen's going to be in a lot of trouble. Ooh, loses all of the Scourge. 1 connection only. He's going to dive on top of one of these Valkyries. He will kill that one. In fact, he takes out both of the Valkyries. It's a little bit annoying. But the mutas are now so badly bruised, it's not really going to matter that much. We're going to have a group of, or we're going to have a vessel out here pretty soon. That's a lot of lings. But with the mutas being as low as they are, I don't think he can take this fight. I don't think he can kill these Marines. There's +1 armor done, which is great. +2 attack kind of just started since the science facility was so late. And +2 armor is actually ahead for Queen, so that could be a big factor. Oh, he split up his army. Leta, oh, coming in with just a small group of Marines, not bringing them all together in time. Now the Lings are going to go to work on about half of those Marines, killing them off before the other half can regroup. That is painful, losing all of those Marines. If he kept everything together and slowly moved down here to the bottom left, I don't think that Queen could have held that. I really don't. I think he would have lost this base potentially in the bottom left. He's got ultras coming out now, but he can't really afford to fight just yet. He needs that next armor upgrade. Okay, +3 armor upgrade. Ultras are gonna come and fight this. He just needs to wait a couple more seconds. If he just waits 2 or 3 more seconds, he's gonna be in a great spot. All right, he's gonna take the fight before that armor upgrade finishes. I do believe that is a mistake. However, he may end up winning this fight regardless. Yeah, the Marine number is just a little bit too low. He's even gonna lose the vessel, unfortunately. So Leta is starting to fall apart. This is Queen kind of cleaning everything up, and Leta just falling by the wayside. His +2 attack is still not done. +3 armor start, so Queen is going to be ahead in armor for the rest of this game. I think this is just a case of Leta not fully understanding what was going on. I think he might have scanned and seen the hive and thought that there was some sort of guardian play or something like that, but no. This is not a guardian play. You have to see the Evo chamber. Maybe he didn't see this Evo chamber when he did the scan, but he had a very late science facility, and of course, because of the late science facility, he ends up with a very late +2. The ultras are running into the natural now. Good sniping on those Scourge that are coming in, but he's gonna lose the vessel regardless in the end. The choked up natural is pretty annoying for these ultralists to try and attack into, and we have to remember this is only 3 gas ultra. There's not a whole lot of gas going into these. You can only produce 4 at a time. And so the waves of ultras are not that big yet. It'll start to become very large once the 4th gas comes online. By the way, we still have quite a bit of gas in the main and natural. We're only at the 13-minute mark, and the ultras are already out in big force, so there's still a lot of time before Queen can start to mine out. That means that Leta will have to kind of weather the storm and start to shut down these 4th base attempts for quite some time if he wants to strangle out Queen without, you know, diving on one of these bases and actually killing it. If he could just keep preventing bases, it's going to be another 6 minutes at least before Queen really runs out of gas. Heading down towards the bottom left. This is a pretty big ball of Marine Medic, but I'm pretty confident to say that if this ball gets eaten up and it doesn't manage to kill this base over here or the base at the bottom left, that Leta will lose this game. Gotta pull everything together, get the stim going, target down the ultras one at a time, immediately losing that vessel. This army is getting mulched, absolutely mangled, and GG is called. Leta realizes it. If he lost that army, he was toast. And so he taps out. A pretty straightforward victory for Queen. Nice job hiding the evolution chamber. I actually want to go back just a little bit. We can see from Leta's point of view when he actually found out about the ultralist play in this game. So he scanned. Okay, he should know. Yeah, there's no excuse at this point. You scan, you see the evolution chamber. I mean, you're gonna of course need to scan a little bit more. Look for what else is there. Maybe it's a Hydralisk den. Like, it's possible that he could be going Lurker with a early +1. It's not very common, but that is something that could be happening. Just need to scan here in a moment the main base, but there's no excuse to not add a science facility right now. There is no excuse. He's got 30 workers. He can get this second gas going right away. Just go ahead, build that science facility. That way you're going to be able to start your +2 attack as soon as the +1 armor is done. It's so crucial. So crucial that he gets that. And he just didn't do it. Even if it was lurkers, guys, like, you're not going to build an Evo chamber and then go mass muta, right? Muta all in? That doesn't make any sense at all. And so why would you need to build a Valkyrie at this point? This is kind of a disconnect that we're seeing in Leta's play. He's clearly not understanding what he needs to do. He does start the science facility now. But again, it's a little bit too late. Let's see when he starts +1 attack. Like, when you see the evolution chamber, the best thing to do, get your science facility as quickly as possible and second engineering bay right away so you can double upgrade. Those upgrades are absolutely key. So he's already behind in his upgrade path. He doesn't get the second eBay. He doesn't have his second gas even, so he's not getting double science vessel at this point. Things are just a little bit wonky. They're a little bit off for Leta. Even though they were a little bit wonky, he could have potentially won this game had he kept all of these bioforces together. Like, look at how spread out he is right now. If he keeps this bioforce waiting until this force gets up to join it, and he takes this fight, look at how low all of these mutas are. The mutas are incredibly low. There are a lot of lings, but I tell you, if these marines are tucked together in a big ball, and the lings, you know, they don't get this great surface area where the marines are all spread out and running, you know, by themselves and split up, I truly think that Leta could have won this game. Or at least taken a massive advantage by taking out the base in the bottom left. We're building ultras now, but they don't have speed and they have to come all the way down from that main base down to the bottom left. There's an opportunity to win this game. Unfortunate stuff for Leta. We're going to jump into game number 2, see if he can clean up his act. Maybe we'll see some Wraith play. That's what I'm looking forward to. Let's jump into game number 2. Okay, game number 2 between Leta and Queen. Got Leta over here in the top left. Queen in the bottom right, cross map once again. And we are on Radion, so one of the biggest maps in the pool. Plenty of space to take bases all around the map for the Zerg player. A very large, wide open center. Good for surrounds and sniping down bio groups with your Mutalisk and Ling builds. That Soul Key-esque style where you just completely surround and annihilate those lings, those marines, those first groups of marines out on the map, and take control of the game in that style. We've seen recently Soma kind of falter with that style of gameplay. It is so hard to pull off though, guys. I cannot emphasize enough how difficult that style is and how effortless Soul Key makes it look. He's got, you know, multiple groups of lings, 2-3 groups of lings. He's macroing at the same time and microing a group of mutas with the reinforcement mutas in the groups as well. He's got, you know, 3-4 different control groups together, and then he's baiting the marines out into a position and then coming in from multiple angles and hitting everything at the same time, getting the lings on top of the marines while the mutas are all firing at the same. It's just so difficult to do, honestly. If you don't believe me, you got to try it yourself. Really tough to make that work. It's not like controlling Marine Medic, which is one of the hardest things as well. It's very difficult to control Marine Medic because you know, you've got a stim and you've got to have your Marines separate from your medics to make that happen. But It's just so much more difficult when you've got a bunch of different units. Some of them melee, some of them range, some of them air, some of them ground. Like, they all react differently, and the battle is so swingy. Like, nothing is tanky. Everything dies insanely fast, and the Marine Medic just deals so much damage. It is incredibly difficult to pull off, and almost nobody else can do it. Pretty much nobody can do it like Sulky, but nobody can beat strong, like very high level Terran players with that style. Usually it's kind of like, you know, they might barely beat the Marine Medic out on the map. They might barely win some of those early engagements, but man, it is so tough to just slap down the Marine Medic and take control of the game like Sulky, and nobody can really do it like he can against the strongest Terrans in the world. Anyway, I digress. We've got Leta here, not opening with Wraith play again. It is what it is, boys. We came here for one thing. Well, hopefully we're gonna get a great game regardless. Leta over here, making another 1 Rax FE. He pops into his 2nd Rax. It's going to be an Academy rush. Stim timing with that 5-minute timing as the medics pop out. It's time to move. Go, go, go. Here comes the Marines across the map. Getting a little bit stuck there, as they do. Likely we're gonna see a Ling run by. Oh, nice block. Very nice block there. Really good block. Does buy a little bit of time for himself with those Lings, but as long as Leta moves now. Okay, he's not gonna move. That's interesting. I thought he would go. I really did think he would just go. Seems like he's more interested in just staying back, waiting for a few more Marines to pop, and that way he won't be killed by the early Mutalisk. Oh my god, he doesn't get the moving shot there. 5 HP left on that. And he sees the exact timing of when the Mutalisk pop. Where are the turrets, by the way? I don't even see one turret. Not even a 1. There we go. Okay, now the turrets start. Muta's already coming across the map, though. This might be a little late. Can he catch the Mutas coming in? No, but this is enough of a threat on the map that I don't think that Queen can just go. Yeah, he can't just go in. Range is not quite done. +1 is now on the way. Going up to 3 racks. Will he make a fast factory? It appears that he's looking to do so. There it is, the factory. Base going down in the bottom left-hand corner. These Marines are very lost out on the map, and you can just see Queen kind of panicking, like, where are you? Where's this Bioforce? I don't really know where it is right now. It's kind of hidden, and he is gonna finally find it. Splitting off his mutas very nicely. You can see how much vision he had right there. But that's something that always gets me as a Zerg player, is when you lose track of that Bioforce. You just never... Yeah, it's never a good feeling. You never want to lose track of that. If it shows up suddenly, you know, you're out on the map, like, searching for it, and somehow it manages to slip by you and get into your natural, oh my god, it's just instant death. Nothing ends the game quite as fast as just missing a bio move out. This 3rd hatchery, or I guess 4th hatchery, but 3rd base going down in the bottom left-hand corner. You can see that Queen has been opting for quite a bit later 3rd base takes. Is not being super aggro with taking his 3rd base, or being super aggressive with taking his 3rd base. Instead of focusing on just getting those macro hatches up. And now he's going to be cleaning up these Marines in the top right-hand corner. This is looking good. He's going to lose a few mutas, but will eventually clean this up. As it gets down to 4-3 Marines, the DPS just isn't as scary. You can dive on top and finish everything off. Cleaning up that first Bioforce is great. Now he's out with the Lings. This is what I was talking about earlier. Combining Lings and mutas to try and take out Bioforces, it's quite tough micro intensive. Well, let's see what Queen's got. He's already annihilated that first force, so as soon as he picks off just a few more of these Marines... Oh, he loses 2 mutas there. That's a little bit tough. 3 mutas, in fact, go down. Here he comes with the Lings. Gonna go ahead and jump on top of this. And a pretty decent surround overall. Clears it out, and Queen is now ahead. He can go into just mass drone and wait for his lurker upgrade to finish. Yeah, there you go. 11 drones in production. And so you're just not going to be able to push against what Queen has. Just this number of mutas and a small group of Lings is going to be enough to stop that from coming out. And he's going to think about moving out right now. But, okay, the mutas are flying in deep. Valkyries are here to deal with that. The turrets are in high number. This might have actually been a mistake that could cost Queen pretty badly. He needed this mutalist force to deal with a potential attack. He's gonna have to build 2 Sunkens over here. He should start a Hydra. He does have a Hydra. Hydra's gonna morph into a Lurker. 3 Sunkens, in fact, 4 Sunkens down in bottom left. He's in a bit of a desperation mode. You really do want to keep those mutalists healthy. And with the number of Lings he had, he could have cleaned up this Bioforce if he combined the Lings and mutas that he had earlier. But he wanted to dive, he wanted to get some damage, and he may end up paying for it. However, as the Sunken Colonies finish up, you know, 3 Sunken Colonies, that's probably going to be enough. Lurker's going to pop out here in a moment as well. These Lurkers are here in the natural, and Queen will be safe. He's going to avert disaster there. Needs to start his +1 armor, of course. He's got his Defiler Mound on the way. All the upgrades in the world are going to be started. And this is the opportunity for maybe Leta to take advantage. Can he get over there with some drops? Will he be able to irradiate his way to victory? It's going to be a bit tough considering how dominant Queen has been thus far in this game. There's not a lot of anti-air over here at the natural. And so Leta could potentially kill a lot of Overlords if he was to just go in with those Valkyries. But 4 Scourge, sets of Scourge are on the way. There's some Scourge out now, so it might be a bit suicidal. This is interesting. I don't know. I just noticed this recently. A lot of Zerg players are building their Nidus in their main. I guess it's because drop is so prevalent. Maybe. I think it's because this is such a strong play with the Lurkers underneath an Overlord and a couple of Sunkens. It's very hard to get in there. Most of the time we're seeing Terran players go for drops and try to get into the main. And if you've got the Nidus in the main, then you can pull your Lurkers from your third base into your main base immediately. And maybe it just makes it a bit easier to defend in those like clutch situations where you only have a couple of seconds to make that will end up making the difference. He's gonna go ahead and snipe down that Overlord. Now the Lurkers can be irradiated. Uh-oh. Bunch of Scourge coming in. Gonna connect with one of those Valkyries. Oh, he's trying to get a shot off. Not gonna happen. First couple of irradiates are gonna go down. Now just 1 for now because there is a stack still. Yeah, I feel that it's almost standard for a Zerg player to keep a bunch of army supply in the main and then jump through the Nidus and immediately snipe or immediately reinforce the third base. Or just have units at the third immediately reinforce the main base. I feel like that's the reason why the Nidus is in the main. For almost forever, we've almost always had Nidus in the natural. That has been so standard over the years that it's kind of a big deal seeing it going the other way now. Does try for a bit of a bust, but with 3 Lurkers underneath Dark Swarm, you're not going to make it happen. He wants to come in for the snipe. Are we going to get the Defiler jumping through? No. Drop play on the high ground here at the 4th, but yeah, see, look at this. This is actually, it's kind of cool, right? I mean, look at how quickly he was able to reinforce this. And you know exactly why he was able to jump through so quickly is the fact that he had a whole army sitting inside the main base waiting for a drop. The moment that that drop comes through, he immediately hops through the Nidus and runs up this ramp to go and save this base. Looks like he might just barely save it. Yeah, that plague being pretty clutch. There's still the possibility that he can snipe that if he drops, and he really should drop down by the hatchery and try to snipe that, but unfortunately he loses the dropship. Queen a little bit too on top of things. Another 2 drops making their way over towards the main base, but I think this is great. He just rallies. Look at this. This is great. This is amazing. The change up from Zerg. Rally everything to your main. You've just got the, you know, the lurkers under the Darkstorm there at the natural. It's pretty much unbreakable. And now he's just going to have army ready, already in position to deal with this drop. It's great. I love it. I think this is so smart by Queen, and I think we're probably going to see this more and more. We already saw it from Soma in our last series yesterday, so I'm really excited to be seeing this kind of change up, this evolution of Zerg, which is the proper word when describing a Zerg player. He is evolving before our eyes. Man, that's super annoying. What the hell? These Marines, if they targeted drones, he could kill like almost every drone there. That would be so frustrating. Finally, that medic will go down. Some Lings are making their way out on the map. Leta repositioning his army over towards the natural, leaves a lane open for attack up to his third base, his fresh third base. Looks like the bunker's gonna hold off everything. Might end up going down in the end, but the Marines will hold strong. Good choice to build those bunkers right away. Now he can continue the assault. Sending down another, oh my gosh. Okay, there's still 3 lurkers underneath that. 3 lurkers underneath the Darkstorm there, buddy. You're not gonna break through. Let's see if Leta can pull off the type of game that we saw Light able to pull off in his series versus Soma, where he just goes to 4 bases really quickly and gets super wide with the amount of units that he's able to make. So far, he's got quite a few barracks. He's sending in battle cruisers now. Gonna start to harass this natural. Mutas are clearing out everything. Oh, a bunch of vessels just went down, didn't they? How many kills do these have? Yeah, 2 each. So I think 4 vessels just went down, potentially. There's a couple of fire bats being dropped out there. Kind of funny to see that. Lings being consumed. And army goes up to clear 12 o'clock. Now he can transfer workers over to that position. Sending in another battle cruiser now. These fire bats are kind of stuck. I guess they're on hold position. Not really sure about that. Scourge coming in. Gonna clear out that 1 battle cruiser, but second battle cruiser gonna come in here and do some work. Marine medic making its way to the front. There's still lurkers underneath this Darkstorm, so you can't just kind of run into that natural just yet. One of the best things you can do as a Terran player with this battle cruiser is actually target down the Nidus Canal. If he targets that down, I think he you know, might have an opportunity to maybe make something work elsewhere. As it stands, he's got a drop coming into bottom left, and I don't think that's going to be aggroing these Scourge. Funnily enough, the Scourge will actually just stand there and, you know, die. And this battlecruiser is still doing work. Well, it's actually hitting nothing at the moment. Probably just target the down the hatchery. He might actually do some damage. I'm really surprised he didn't go for that Nidus Canal, because there's not very much down here at bottom left. If he targeted down the Nidus Canal, he might actually have a shot of doing something in that position. Ends up losing the battlecruiser in the end. Not the biggest loss right now. There's a complete open lane for Queen to go for an attack up towards 12 if he wants to. Natural is not contained at the moment. Irradiates the Overlord and then just gets on out of there. Not going well for Leta, I have to say. Like, he had some pretty good ideas. He did some crazy stuff earlier on, but now he's eating big plagues. He's losing his vessels, and he's not containing the rally points. Like, I guess he's containing over here right now, but these two ultras can just clear this. +4 armor, +3 attack's been done for a little while. I guess another drop coming in, but we've already got ultras, and the Scourge are gonna catch this. Yeah, he's running into the natural, but both of the dropships go down. He's trying desperately to break through, but another Defiler is out and ready to cast another Dark Swarm. Firebats are great at dealing with Lings under Dark Swarm, but not so good at dealing with Ultras, which is what we're about to have. Ultras are going to be out here in a moment. He's actually sending Ultras over to that third base. He's going to try and hit this. Need to repair. We don't see that repair. And so Leta's probably just going to lose everything at that base. Lings are coming up to assist. They'll be able to clear out the majority of this. Now, Ultras are pushing out into the middle of the map. And yeah, you can just see the difference between the level of what Light was able to do in his game against Soma and the difference between him and Leta, perfectly illustrated in this game. Great defense with the Marines, killing off a lot of Lings, but the Ultras are now unleashed, and this is where Zerg takes control generally of the game state. He just has so many Ultras popping out. He's on 4 gases. He can start to amass units and just take over these different positions, wiping out expansions. Leta doesn't have much more gas in the tank. He's trying to pump out masses of units, and he's still going for drops. But if you guys saw that game with Light, he just had like 170 supply at this point in the game. He had so much more supply. He had so many Marines and medics that he was able to take fights with big forces like this. He just stand there and just battle, just bang with those huge armies. But now, I mean, he's just gonna come in. He's gonna find himself cut off by some Scourge. This base may end up going down, and maybe he can load up and go into the bottom left, but he's lost control over 12 o'clock. He's likely gonna lose this base over here as well. Dropping behind these mineral patches is not gonna get him very far. One of those drops goes down. In fact, both of them end up falling. Oh no, this one's still alive over here, but Ultras are making their way into the rally point. Leta's out of gas. He's out of juice. He's not going to be able to hold back the waves of Ultras that are making their way forward. And he is going to have to tap out. GG. Queen takes this game home. Some great standard Zerg play being displayed in this game. I love it, guys. This Nidus Canal, this new style of Zerg where you keep the Nidus Canal in the main base, I think it's genius. I think it's straight up genius because it's just become so prevalent. Like, think about it. If he's keeping the Nidus Canal in the natural, that means you're going to be rallying all your stuff to the Nidus Canal. And if you're not rallying to the Nidus Canal, let's say the Nidus Canal is here and you're rallying into your main to keep your main safe, then if there's some sort of drop down in bottom left, you have to run all of your units down the ramp into the Nidus Canal, up this ramp, and then try to save the base. If you're rallying all your units to the Nidus, then if you need to go up to save your main, then you have to bring all your units up this ramp and get up into the main. But if you keep the Nidus in the main base, you rally everything into the main. Worst comes to worst, you need to run down this ramp to save your natural, but you're gonna have some time. You've got lurkers under an overlord in a stack. It's pretty well defended. The really big threat that Zerg players are having to deal with these days is the drops. So having, even better would be a Nidus in the main base, going to this Nidus in the main base, or going to a Nidus in this, in the bottom right main. But having it in the natural, I mean, this is, it's great. I feel like it's awesome. Of course, you don't have the fourth base right off the bat, so when you're building the Nidus, there's no creep up there to actually build the Nidus to. So just having it in the natural, giving easy access to that natural, down in the bottom left, the third base. This is the evolution of Zerg. This is the future of Zerg. We're gonna see this a lot more. I think in the future, it's gonna help players to deal with crazy Terrans like sharp, like Rush, like Barracks, and Speed, who just go for these crazy, you know, 4 shuttle or 4 dropship attacks into your main and your 4th base, and just try to pull you apart that way, that are, you know, so focused on drop play and hitting your main over and over again while trying to break your natural, and pulling the Zergs this way and that and trying to ruin their entire day. I think that this is the solution. What we're seeing right now, having your Nidus in the main, it's never in Broodwar. Broodwar's been around for so long that it's never some massive change that needs to be done to deal with some change in your opponent. Like, it's never, you know, a huge alteration. Let's say Crazy Zerg becomes a really big thing, right? It's not like, oh, now I need to switch completely into tanks to be able to win or something like that. You know, I need to completely change my build. No, okay, I add an earlier science facility, I add an earlier second engineering bay, and, you know, I keep my forces more grouped up. These small alterations in gameplay are what is needed to deal with the big changes in metagame, and this is maybe that small change that helps Zerg players to deal more efficiently with drop play, and maybe we'll see an answer to that in the future. Maybe we'll see Terran players start to switch it up and favor less drop play. Who knows? But I'm very excited to see this change before it happens in, you know, future ASLs. We get to see the brainchild. We get to see the evolution, the slow changes that are going to affect those massive tournaments in the future. It's not going to come out of left field because we're here. We're watching it on the ladder as it is being developed. Guys, thank you so much for watching today. I am feeling a little bit better now. I had a pretty nasty cough in that first game, but it's slowly recovering, and we're going to continue on with the daily uploads. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.